Got a great race here coming tonight in the Elevated Racing Group's Pro Series with these Xfinity cars. Joined a few laps late, but these are 50% races with 3 times wear. Got full cautions, damage, and slider setups. These drivers, we've got the regular season drivers, we've got a few from the Elite Series that came down to relieve a few that couldn't make it. Right now we're looking at the 88, that's Titans, and looks like he may have a nice big lead there from second. And that looks like the 3 of Boston Strong, so already these elite drivers are up front. This is Enoch from the Elite Series as well. With me I got my 2 buddies up front and War Machine. Love racing with you guys, love talking with you guys too. Love to see an exciting race. Up front, what are you looking to see here tonight?
Well, I'm looking to see how much these elite drivers come down and just see what kind of performance they do with these regular pro drivers. Right now, we've already seen with the 88, he's got a big lead with Boston Strong already there in the top second spot, it appears. Just going to be a real interesting race on see how it unfolds.
Yeah, man. I definitely agree with you on that up front. Hey, War, you got anything that you want to see out of these pro drivers tonight?
Yeah, I want to see them give these elite drivers a run for their money.
Yeah, that's right. You know, it's going to be a really good learning experience for these pro drivers. As we see, Shaft is getting
like
around.
3 got in the wall.
Yeah, 3 little.
Back to third.
That's yeah, and you got to think about practice too. Boston didn't know he was going to run this race until tonight.
Right, so he's really got nothing to go off of. These guys have been working on their setups for about 2 weeks once they do get onto pit road. So right now I think this is just a feeling out process for Boston. Titans, he had a little bit more of an awareness, I believe, a couple hours earlier of knowing that he was going to come down. So maybe he was able to crack out a little bit of a setup or knowledge of how he needed to run this track.
Yeah, you got to think about how long this race is too. I'm sure they'll figure it out, all these drivers. And go towards the back of the pack. We've got 3 guys under a blanket. Got looks like the 00 of Harvick, and we've got Matt in that 18. And let's see who's in that 98. This thing goes so slow. Down and out. Oh, that's Bobby.
Down and out.
There we go. There's Bobby. Yeah, Bobby.
They're putting on a good performance. A nice, clean racing right there.
Oh yeah, nice on the inside of that 00. These guys are racing each other with a lot of respect, it looks like. Being clean as they go 3 wide for a second. Can the 18 hold that bottom line?
The 18 had that preferred line going into 3. He was able to hold his track position down there on the bottom. It looks like he was going to clear him when they go down into 1.
That 98 with a lot of momentum on the outside.
That is true.
That 18 held the bottom through 1 and 2 pretty well. I was expecting him to kind of come up the track a bit, but he kept his car stuck. Now these guys are coming around turns 1 and 2. Let's see where our leader's at.
Oh, and looks like he's just crossing the line.
Wow, looks like he's got half a lap lead, and out of the back there, if you guys are watching my view here, I saw Boston for a second. So he's about a whole stretch behind right now, but again, he did have that bobble. He's trying to figure things out. Oh, Titan's down a little bit. Wow, he held that thing.
I could have swore earlier the number 3 went into pits about 4 or 5 laps ago.
Oh, okay, thank you for that. I didn't even notice that. If anyone's got Twitch too, you can get some in-car insight from the 3 car. I don't know what happened to Titans, but he's on pit road all of a sudden.
It looks like this might be a scheduled stop. Looks like he's going to be he was getting really loose out there, so maybe his tires were just a little worn out trying to get through this first stage.
No, it looks like, oh yeah. I don't know, man. I wonder if he fell out of the race. Because all of a sudden he just fell to pit road.
Unless he had a speeding penalty.
Yeah, this is pretty interesting here. Cause I was on his car, and then all of a sudden he was just on, like, at his pit box.
It does appear that he might be out of this race.
Oh no! See, I was really looking forward to seeing how these guys could run together. But let's get off his car. We don't need to see Carson on pit road. We've got Shaft in the lead now. In that two, he hasn't pitted. Boston trying to do some pit strategy, getting down pit road a little early. Want to thank everyone for taking a watch at our video here on this Friday night, Elevated Racing Group's Pro Series. What are you thinking about Shaft up front?
Shaft's got a nice clean racetrack in front of him. I think he's just trying to stay focused on what's on the track and what's in front of him. Not looking at these guys that are racing here hard, that you can still throw a blanket under or over.
Yeah. One thing that I kind of noticed when we were looking at them before, Shaft was a little further away, but you think that 00 is going to pull him in more?
I believe so. The 00 did pit, correct?
It looks like the only one that pitted so far was Boston, so these guys are all on the same strategy. As Matt in the 18 gets around the 00. 00 had a really slow 3.
It looks like he got held up a bit there.
Yeah, it almost looked like he was going to try to hit pit road, but then the 18 was there. But it's hard to tell what each driver has as a strategy.
It does look like that gap is getting smaller between first and second.
Yeah, it looked like it really was before, and then Harvick just, kind of fell off a little bit. Do you think that's part of a strategy, or is the 18 fast?
Well,
I think the 18 might be faster.
I believe he may be fast, but if you want to think about it, that the 2 was really pushing it up there, trying to catch Titans, and also racing hard with the 3 car. 3 car takes a pit. These guys were kind of laying back, just kind of saving their stuff, and now here they are, reeling them in.
Yeah, you think he pushed his tires? Yeah, that's definitely a good possibility. And you never know how these guys are running their cars. I know they're not on custom setups; they're on sliders. But one slider can run the tires a little different than another. Maybe someone's set up for a longer run to start.
This is true.
And it's funny too. We were just talking about how we thought he was reeling them in, but it kind of looks like the 2 came back to life as he's getting smaller looking from the 18. One thing with this track that I like is there's multiple grooves, and in between those grooves you've got the seams. You can easily spin these things out, but watching these guys, I don't think anyone's had a problem. Looks like the 98 of Down and Out, he does a good job running that middle high line, and right in front of him you see through 3 and 4 the 18 grabbing the bottom. What do you like to run here, guys?
Me myself,
or do you have a preference?
Top to the middle.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. It really depends on how I got the car set up.
When I get down on that bottom, where it's really rubbered up, it seems like my car wants to get a little bit looser, where I can usually find more grip in the middle to the top lane.
Yeah, I think the same way. One thing that I just try to do is not hit the seams. There's about 2 seams here, and you could easily spin yourself out. These 2 corners are completely different. Either you guys think that one corner is better than the other when it comes to capitalizing on someone and getting a pass?
Ward, you want to take that one?
As the 00 gets the 98 out of 4 there. Where do you think's the
I'm
easiest
kind of
part?
partial 3 and 4. I'm
Yeah.
partial to 3 and 4 on the bottom. That's where I like to run my car at this track. Just slightly above that ditch that's on the bottom of the track, if you know what I mean. But I seek a lot of opportunities in that turn.
Yeah, I feel like you could really round the bottom in 3 and 4, but you can also get a lot of momentum coming out of 2. It really depends, and it looks like that's the end of stage 1. Stage 1 winner will go to Shaft Nation. Good job there, Shaft, with Matt in the 18 down and out, and Harvick and Boston. Boston's the first car 1 lap down. He'll get his lap back.
Yep, he should get the lucky dog there and see what kind of strategy he pulls.
Yeah. So estimated fuel 17 laps. Wow.
You wonder if maybe he pitted just to kind of get a feel for the car, because like you said, he never got any practice time with this. So maybe he just was feeling something he didn't like, ducked down pit road, threw some things in there that maybe suited his driving style a little bit more.
Man, that's something I didn't even think about. You're right, because if you think about it too, there's 3 stages, so you can use the first and second stage to kind of feel your car out. He pretty much made, in a sense, his own extra stage where he can pit and see how it feels. Now he can really work on it more. So that kind of puts him at an advantage these other drivers when it comes to figuring out your race-winning setup. Looks like the 3 gets into 3rd place around the 18 on the inside. So he's giving 00 Harvick a little push.
He's
Shaft
looking to the high
is going.
side now.
And the 18 got a good run on the inside.
Yep, 18 car's going to battle him hard for that 3rd spot there. Boston Strong took a peek underneath the 00, but he was able to shut the door.
Yeah, and he got a little loose on the exit. I know Boston, and I know he likes him loose.
Meanwhile, these guys are going to be battling, and that 2 car is just driving away.
Yeah, man, he put on cruise control, put that sail up. Get
Sunday
moving.
driving.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, the 00.
Oh,
There's going to be a
18,
caution after that, I would think. It looks like everyone's still running.
Yeah, looks like we're staying green.
Wow. I mean, I would call a caution for that. Yeah, that's the thing with this game. It's tough to tell. Look at the 18, man. That thing is damaged.
And with this series, I believe that they're still on AI cautions, not manual cautions like we see with the Elite Series.
That's correct.
Yes,
You'd
sir.
think that the game would have called it on that.
Yes, sir.
Now I'm watching Boston on Twitch, and I just heard Shaft say, "Don't worry, guys. There's a whole nother stage left." Hey, if I was in the lead, I'd have an attitude like that too. Like, don't worry, we won't call a caution. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. I'll run the next 22 laps.
He's trying to get in his competitor's head there, letting them know, hey, y'all can race all you want. We got another stage. I'm still the top dog here.
Yeah.
You got to come and race me.
And that could be taken 2 ways too. He could have 2 different meanings to that, where he is trying to get in their head, but he could also be trying to encourage them not to want to back out, not to overdrive their cars. Because I know Shaft, and he likes to have some competition. He doesn't want these guys to get frustrated. I know myself, when I get frustrated, man, I can't drive. I'm not hitting my marks, and I just overdrive it, slow down. Maybe he's trying to help the others think that way.
Yeah. That's a good point, because sometimes you do have to take a step back and take a deep breath and kind of gather your thoughts as a driver and just focus on racing the track and not the people that are out there.
That's right. As the 98 got into the wall a little bit, little Bobby goes down in the track, but takes 1 a little tough, goes up, gives the 3 a little room. Even though the 3 was involved in that accident, he's still pretty darn fast. With a track like this, how much do you think body damage really plays a part? Ward, do you have any, like, thinking about our Bristol race last night, I know, like, even when I would get a little splitter damage or right side damage, I was still running the same laps. Does this track kind of act like that, or is it more like an intermediate? Because if you think about it, this is pretty much the baby of a short track and an intermediate.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Aerodynamics doesn't really affect your speed too much here. The only damage I'd worry about here is like if you have like engine damage or anything of that sort.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you run that thing too hot, then you're really in for a bad day.
You're done for. You're toast.
Yeah, don't blow that radiator.
No. No, a little body damage is fine.
Yeah. That 18 though, he had a ton of body damage, but he seems like he's still running fast. Listening into these cars, trying to listen to the RPMs, see where these guys are getting into it, getting off, see who's got a good pace. This 18 sounds pretty loud, you know. He sounds like he's pretty high in revs, so maybe his car's still okay.
It does appear that way.
So yeah, the other cars sound a little more bogged out. 00 sounds pretty quick. The 88 just sounds like crap being on pit road. That's really unfortunate for Titans.
It is unfortunate. You wonder if he had any connection issues.
I did get a message I went down to pit road. I got to talk with Titans after he exited his car. He gave me the finger, but I followed him all the way back to the trailer. He said he hates PlayStation Network. He's saying that PlayStation may have screwed his day over. Another conspiracy that his crew chief had was that this was all set up by Boston Strong. He hacked into his, he got his IP address, hacked in with the Ocean's 11 crew, and George Clooney turned that stuff off, and you know, that's just what happens.
You would really think that's a Matt Damon task, but really, I mean, George Clooney does take, you know, the head of that group, and maybe they did sabotage Titan's race, and hey, if you got to win somehow, I guess that's one way to do it.
Yeah, another thing too, if you look at the sponsor on Boston's car, it's Nexium 24 Hours. Drug problem? That, you know, did he drug Titans, and Titans fell out of the race? A lot of conspiracies we can come up with here.
That is true, and we all know that Nexium does put a soothing on that Hellman's mayonnaise.
Yeah, and you know, when you want a hot sandwich, when you really want like a nice warm Nexium mayonnaise sandwich, we all love warm mayonnaise. Throw it on your hot water heater. Get a Ream hot water heater. Throw it on there and just let it heat up a bit. Let that bread get soggy. The thinnest white bread you can get. And
that reminds me of a story. I was with my race buddies one night, and we had came home from the track, and since I had won the race, they served me a what they called a well, we won't name the shot, but it was something in the tub, and it was hot microwaved vodka with mayonnaise on top, and I took it. Best decision of my life. Yes.
Did you just say best decision of your life?
Oh yeah, it was a great night. Had the win, got a hot vodka with mayonnaise shot. It was a great day.
Yeah, I give you a lot of credit for taking that shot. I don't think I could do it. And going back to the race, it looks like Boston is 7.3 seconds behind, but he keeps knocking tenths off. Dude, from 1 to 3, he knocked about 4 tenths off.
Yeah, he's moving pretty quick, and I guess that wreck earlier didn't damage his car too bad.
Shoot, may sped it up, but maybe Shaft had an issue, because now Shaft is bringing it back up to a 7.3 second lead, and could just be a back and forth of a good corner, bad corner deal.
Well, you know, we did talk about this kind of being the baby of a short track and an intermediate track, and I did hear some drivers from the Elite Series last night when they were at Bristol saying sometimes when they would clip the wall and get a little damage, their car was more stable. And with these seams, you wonder if that's kind of playing the same role here for Boston, where his car feels actually a little bit good with that damage, where he's able to drive it a little harder.
I agree with that completely, because that's how I felt at Bristol. I'd hit the wall, be like, oh yeah, my the right side's kind of bent in a bit. Maybe that'll push air differently, and splitters up a bit. All right, maybe I can, get on the brakes and it won't slide up the track because the splitter's not too low. But yeah, a lot of things could play a part. Who knows how strong or how smart these game engineers were when they made this.
Well, Boston Strong, he's waiting. There's about 5 laps to go here. He's waiting to get down pit road, get some Bondo on that hood, and get it back straight so he can get back racing hard again. And maybe have a good race with Shaft up there for the lead.
Yeah, and one thing that I would think of too, these guys are drivers and crew chiefs. Maybe Boston is just letting the car run out, like he's not pushing it too hard. Maybe he's trying to think of strategy, okay, is 1 lap of estimated fuel greater or lower than the actual fuel usage in a lap? Yeah, because that could play a part. And looking at tires too, what's my tire wear like? Because we can all, I think the 3 of us can agree that when it comes to strategy, Boston is strong with that. Yeah, thanks. That was so corny.
See what you did there.
Yeah,
Yeah, very good, very good.
But in all seriousness, he really is. He could be looking at things that these other drivers aren't. But it'll be interesting. I'm gonna go around and look at these cars and take a look at who's got the cleanest looking car right now. 98 car looks pretty good.
If you look at the 00, it looks like it hasn't even been touched.
You're right. Oh yeah, I agree with you, man. That thing does not look touched at all. And
Yeah,
we've
I've
seen it
in the 00.
Yeah, and we've seen it. Sometimes the cleanest cars at Bristol, and Iowa in the Xfinity series. Usually, those cleaner cars are the ones that get the wins.
If you look at 00, he's actually starting to reel in the 3 car. He's making ground on them.
And I'd like to say, get the heck out of my head up front, because I was just going to think the same thing.
Oh, and there is the stage.
All right, stage 2 finish. Shaft got first and second stage. Can he get max points today, or does Boston have something for him? This is where practice really plays a big key. We haven't seen any green flag cautions, so this might be one of the last opportunities you're going to have to mess around with your setup. Shaft may know something that Boston doesn't.
That is true. Shaft's been running countless laps here, and Boston, he doesn't have the practice time. I think Boston's going to have to really concentrate on what he wants to do with his car here in this last yellow flag pit stop, because as well as I do on the green flags that we're going to have here. I'm sure we're going to have one green flag pit stop where you don't get that kind of time to work on your car.
No.
You want to get in, you want to get out.
Yeah, and then you make your bed too, man. Like, change could go good or bad, and
yeah.
Looks like Boston lost a few spots there. Maybe some strategy from the others, or maybe because all the repair he had, I believe.
Looks like the repair damage was quite a few seconds. Oh, 98.
Ooh, down and out into the 00. That's and of course I'm watching. It's bad. I was watching Boston's stream, and I was still on Titan's car in pit road, so I apologize to whoever's watching. I didn't get to see that action. But now the top 4 looks spread out, kind of even. Looks like Boston has a really good entrance into 3.
Boston's making up a little ground.
Yeah.
He's about 7/10 back now with Shaft Nation. He's reeling them into about half a second. I think this is going to shaping up to be a good race.
Yeah, I think so too. Shaft has a few wins in the series. I'll pull a few stats up if you guys want to kind of go through, see what you think might happen, what you think is going to be a good way to win a race.
Well, I can tell you the best way to win a race is usually be up front. You always want to. Yep.
Wait, what's that supposed to mean?
You got to be up front. if you're gonna win the race. I heard.
I'll throw in my corny dad joke.
That was good. Now, you know I love racing with you guys. You guys have consistency better than most, and you know, War, you've won a good amount of races, and so have you up front. But War, what's one thing you like to see in an Xfinity car here at Iowa?
A car that can cut and turn.
That can cut and turn.
Yeah.
Do you want it a little
apex,
loose?
Yeah, I apex these corners hard.
That 3 car, he's working on him on the high side, and it's
Wow.
shaping up to be a good battle. Looks like he's going to clear the 2.
Yeah, it makes me think if the 2 made an adjustment that he didn't like, because you're right, man, that outside, as he kind of taps the wall, he gets that momentum.
He's right back there on his bumper. He's going to dive it down under the 3, see if he can get a good momentum run at a 4.
Wow, they're almost
They are
neck and
dead
neck.
even. Yeah, it looked like Boston got in the wall there, slowed him up a little bit. He's going to get about 2 cars going to get about 2 car lengths of room.
Wow. Where do you want to be strong, entrance or exit, if you had to pick one? I know you want to be strong everywhere, but what do you think?
Exit.
Exit.
Yeah, I'm
I think
always
so
a guy
too.
that wants something that will drive off the corner, that will carry me
Ooh.
down the straightaway.
Yeah, me too, because like if you try and be strong in entrance, then you can just kill the entire lap. I'd rather be a little cautious and hope to get a run. But coming out of 4 there, it looked like Boston may have hit one of the seams. He
Definitely
almost
got
spun
loose
it.
now.
Yeah.
Yep, and Shaft's really opening up that lead. This is where looks like it's about a 1.6 second lead.
Yeah.
Shaft's this is where Boston's got to take a breath and just relax and know that the race can come to him if he just concentrates on hitting his marks.
Yeah, that's right. And you got to think there's 50. They're coming to 53 to go. I'm gonna see if we can get someone included here. We're gonna get blue screen for a sec. See if we can get another perspective on this race if they want to.
Meanwhile, while you're dealing with that, Nick, I'm going to let you know that Boston has cut the lead down to 8/10. He's really working that. It looks like he's diving it in low now instead of running that high line. Looks like him hitting that wall has kind of backed him off away from that high side.
So that kind of, if I was Shaft, I'd be a little worried because we saw that Boston had a pretty good strong car up top, and now he's even stronger on the bottom. I haven't really seen Shaft run up top. Do you think he's got a multi-lane car or not?
I don't think he does. I think he's concentrated on running the bottom as much as possible.
Yeah.
Where we do see Boston, he's able to go to the high side once again. And,
Oh man, Cutter was in here and then he left. Nah, he doesn't want to be a part of it.
That's too bad. I was looking forward to having a quick little chat with him. The best thing that Shaft can do is try and take that line away from the 3 car and see if he can make him work harder, making sure he's got to pass him on the high side. Don't give him that low line.
Yeah, because Shaft saw how Boston ran on both lines. He saw Boston was strongest on the bottom. So why try and block him up top? You know, hold that bottom line.
Yep.
That's the bottom line right there, you know? That's what you got to do.
That is the bottom line.
Because he nixed it, so.
Because I said so and stuff like that. But this 98, man, this Hunt Brothers Pizza looks a little burnt. I don't know. Thing looks a little rowdy here. I don't know what the heck.
To get that pizza half off.
Yeah. Auto deck, make anything. This is a PG rated program, guys, so let's, make anything, let's keep it clean. And when I say clean, I mean sterilized. You don't want anything, but it's all good. VDs are serious, children. Don't, you know.
I can tell you another story about the early 2000s. Had a little scare there, went to the doctors. Little penicillin cleared it right up. But you know, you don't want to be in that situation.
Yeah, see, I'm allergic to penicillin, and that's yeah, it's not good. But wrap it up tight,
I can
kids.
tell you, I can give that doctor a round of applause, if you know what I mean.
There you go. Oh yeah, it really cleared you up. So this doctor is pretty hot. Nice.
Well, it was a he, but he cleared it right up.
There you go. Gave you that shot.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah.
Nick, I think you're short on this one, bro.
Yeah. Notice I'm clapping.
No. Oh yes, yes. Sorry. I don't know. I'm not in the funny mood. I was a little.
I'm the one that got it. What the
I was
hell?
a little crabby earlier, so I'm not catching everything.
It's all right. If you want to look back here, it looks like the 2-car, he's actually going to give the 3-car the high line going down the backstretch. They dive it down into 3 and 4. 2-car is able to hold that momentum on the bottom, though.
Yeah.
He's making that 3-car work.
But that momentum, look at him go down the front stretch. I don't know. I like the shorter way around. I feel like it's tough to get momentum on higher lines in this game.
I think if you're looking at the talent right now, Shaft Nation is definitely a guy that's going to be looking at the Elite Series next season. I mean, he's running with Boston, who is one of the top dogs of the Elite Series, and he's showing them, I'm not going to back down just because you came to my neck of the woods. You're going to have to work for a win if you want to beat me.
Yeah, and I give him a lot of credit for that, too.
I'll tell you what else might be a factor. That 98 car that they're coming up on.
Oh my gosh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, we know that, you know, lap down cars can get in the way of leaders, and it can change the whole scene of a race.
A move right here could, you know, butterfly effect into a different finish than if he wasn't there.
Exactly. 3 cars knocking on the back bumper of the 2-car.
Yeah, that 2 seems a little. It seems like he's got a pretty good car. I just heard him say that he's a little tight, but he's still run that bottom well.
It looked like the 3-car wheel hop there going into the turn.
Ooh, yeah, losing those tires too.
98 car, he's going to pull to the high side, let these leaders go and run. It looks like, ooh, and Boston was just able to clear him as they came out of 4.
Yeah, that's some good, respectful driving there by Down and Out. And it's not like Down and Out's really fallen back much. He's right there, so he probably did recognize that the leaders were on his tail. Let's see what the other 2 are up to here. We've got the 18 and 00. If I was in the back, I'd be thinking of strategy. I need to make up a few seconds here. How can I do it?
What can I do? Yeah. Whether it be short pitting, maybe getting some fresher tires as soon as I could to eat into that gap of the leaders. Would I be looking at getting 2 tires if I was close enough to the leaders where I could actually just get there to them?
Yeah, and they're going to have to stop more than once, I believe. Not too sure, but you never know if there's
about 9 laps of fuel left on that 3-car.
Oh, nice, thanks. You never know if the way that it falls out, maybe one of these guys could save and eliminate one of those stops.
That is true. I mean, you could always go back and take your foot off the gas a little bit more going into the corners and letting the car really rotate and ride through, saving some gas. Yeah, it looks like crew chief of the 3-car, he has just let me know that they will be pitting within the next, it looks like 5 to 6 laps, and I believe they're going to go 4 tires all the way.
Yeah, you got to. And another thing with like thinking of pit strategy and saving fuel, you have to know beforehand. You really have to practice, because I've had situations where I would think, yeah, okay, I'm gonna save here so I can eliminate a stop, and then I realized later on that was a waste. That was a waste of time. I put myself even further back. It's really hard to tell that perfect spot when to pit and what to get.
Yeah, judging by these laps, it looks like, these tires are really worn out. It's Boston's actually lost about 9 tenths from where he is at the beginning of the run.
Boston is pitting.
Oh, Boston is pitting. Let's see. I wonder what Shaft's gonna do. Shaft is still good on the bottom. Even if his tires are falling off and his lap times are falling off, he's still being very consistent. He's staying out still.
Yep, it looks like he's going to go another lap around.
So when this pit cycle ends, I wonder if Boston will be able to make up some time, since Shaft is running, a little slower on these older tires for a little longer.
And you always wonder too, when the leader comes around and laps you and you were just running second, does that get in the head of the driver? Now I'm a lap down. How many positions did I fall off in this pit sequence if a caution does to come out right now? Because if you look, Boston just exited pit road. 2 cars not far behind.
No, he's not. And he can't. Oh, it looks like Shaft is going down pit road, so it'll be exciting to see just where he comes out around Boston. Shaft is still driving down pit road. I don't see a signal light on. He's not indicating that he's turning to the left into his pit box. Could that be a penalty?
It definitely could be, because that's an improper turn. But
Yeah.
I believe the officials here are lenient enough to know, hey, we had an idea of where you were going. You're pulling into your stall.
And also, they are stickers.
Oh. See, back in my day, we would knock them out with a hammer and say, let's go racing.
Yeah, yeah. And back in War's day, they had horse and buggies. Oh, and
This is true.
for the lead, Boston, the extra laps that Shaft ran on those old tires kind of hurt him, but maybe he can catch up towards the end of the run when Boston start to fall off a little quicker. Or maybe it could have been fixing damage. Did these guys have damage? Did they need to fix it, or do they think that their car was good, didn't have to repair it?
Well, I don't know. I never saw the 2 car really in the wall. He was really running that bottom lane. He was very consistent.
Yeah, you're right.
Maybe just a slow stop by his pit crew there.
Yeah. There's so much that goes into it. Your entrance, your exit, the pit stop itself, and whether Boston popped another Nexium or not, I don't know.
Well, Boston's really good about popping the little blue pills, but those purple pills for Nexium, I'm sure he's on those too.
Yeah, he is. I don't know where I'm going with that. It just sounds bad. Yeah, let's just end that. It looks like the 18 is coming out pit road. War, save me.
Save you?
Yeah, from
Save you from what?
From myself, really. So it looks like going through the field. Sorry?
Looks like that 2 car is starting to close that gap on Boston Strong a little bit. I've been watching them for the last 4 or 5 laps.
Yeah, I'd like to see it.
Boston's approaching this 18 car. It's going to be taking him a lap down here soon, it looks like. Is that going to affect how quickly he can get around that car, where Shaft might be able to reel him in?
So it could help Shaft, but then what about when Shaft gets to him? It depends on where you catch him, right? Are these guys thinking of setting this 18 up? Is this 18 going to give him a hard time? He's not a lap down yet. He can fight to stay on here.
Well,
yeah.
sometimes these guys in the pro series, they see these elite drivers come down. They're like, "Well, I'm going to race you harder than I'm
Yeah.
going to run my other pro guy." So 18 might run the three car a little harder, so he doesn't go a lap down. But when Shaft gets to him, he might say, "Go ahead, buddy, go get him."
Yeah, he wants
How
his
would others to
regular
know?
season buddy to go. That's an awesome point. So going through the field, it looks like we got 2 Chevys, 2 Fords, and 1 Toyota still in this race. As the 3 is still moving up to that 18. Really curious to see how this is going to work itself out.
Yep, he's just slowly inching up to him. I think Boston's approaching him with a little bit of caution, just to make sure that, I want to make sure I line up my run perfectly to him, where I might not get into any trouble.
I think right when you said that, it's almost as if he heard you. He went up high, maybe to try and build some momentum, but I think he hit a seam. But he was pretty much doing what you said, I think. War, if you were Shaft, what's your strategy right now to get to that 3 and get around him? Drive fast and turn to the left, exactly. Yep.
Yep. And looking at it, it looks like there's about 20 laps to go. So, I mean, if he's going to make a run, he's got to start clicking off some time now. He's about 1.1 seconds off of the leader. Shaft Nation is.
And if I was Boston, I'd be like, all right, I got past the lap car. Now I really need to move. Now I need to take advantage of this. Shaft is almost 2 seconds behind, and he's clicking away at it little by little. I think Boston may have had a bad exit, but I think so did Shaft. It's going to be a lot of give and take with these tenths of a second.
Tenths of a second. You wonder if maybe Boston on that last pit stop, he found something that his car liked. They made a quick adjustment, and he's able to roll on much quicker now.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if you've noticed or not, guys, but I'm wondering if they have the fuel and the tires to make it.
I've been trying to get confirmation from pit crew and crew chiefs if they were good to go to the end. Right now, having a tough time saying, we're in the middle of the home stretch right now. I'll let you know as soon as I hear back.
Yeah, well, for you up front, it's hard for someone to want to work with you if you keep messing around with their wives. So I'm sure if it was someone other than you, the pit crew would tell you what their strategy is.
Hey, beggars can't be choosers, bud.
Hey, take what you can get.
That's right.
Everybody needs some love.
Even the big ones, too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he clicked through it and I missed it. But it looked like he had 56% on his right front there. With 15 laps to go.
Oh, it looks like, yeah, I saw about 18 laps of fuel left. So it looks like he's 3 to the good.
Wow.
Double zero cars scraping the wall in the back there. But meanwhile, Boston's able to keep this line and keep just adding time, adding to that gap of Shaft Nation.
Yeah, and over the last 3 or 4 laps, that gap only stretched about 2/10. You never know. I feel like this track rhythm plays a big part, and Shaft is hoping to find something that works for him and sticks with it, and that's what he really needs to happen. I'm pretty impressed with Matt in that 18 right now. As soon as Boston got around him, there wasn't much fall off for that 18.
No, he's keeping the 3 car in his sights just to see if maybe the 3 car makes a little slip so he can get his lap back and doesn't have to require a caution to be the lucky dog.
Oh, and this just in, the NASCAR officials have detained Titans for trying to run up the track to throw banana peels. He may have had some of that Nexium and thinks that he's in Mario Kart and trying to ruin Boston's day.
Well, see, you know, Titans made the mistake there of using the banana when really he should have been searching for the red turtle shell.
Yeah, I mean, at this point
It's
in
always gonna
last,
find the location.
at last he would have a good chance at a blue spiked shell, but he's so many laps down. Yeah, I just don't think he can Yoshi his way up there totally, you know.
Oh, 3 in the wall.
And that brings the gap down to 1.2, 1.1. After this race, we're going to have a little break and go to Darlington. I love Darlington. That should be a good one. And I think during that break, I'm going to download a laugh track for my shitty jokes. But or I'll do that again. I'll record it and just keep playing that.
Hey, I'm paid to laugh at your jokes.
Yeah, right. So, if I was Shaft right now, I would not try to overrun the car, because sometimes when you see a car ahead of you, you have a little issue, you may think, all right, I'm going to catch him. And then you start running a little harder and you actually slow yourself down. I wonder if that's going through him right now.
Well, yeah, it's all about keeping your pace, and right now he is the dog chasing the rabbit, and
Yeah.
he just needs to keep, you know, running his pace, hitting his marks, and wait for that next slip. The 3 car can easily slip up again, hit one of those seams, and he can be right there. So no need to take yourself out by running your car too hard.
Definitely. One thing that I saw Boston just do was he turned the lap tracker off. Sometimes, for myself, once I start turning those aids off, the informational pages off, it lets me focus more on my line. Are you the type of guys that would turn your mirror off as well?
No, I keep my mirror on the whole time.
Yeah,
I
me
like to
too.
know where my competitor is, and it also it keeps it keeps you from having other accidents.
Sometimes with turning that lap tracker off a little bit, you once your tires are worn, you kind of get a little upset that you're not running as quick as you once were. When you're getting chased down by the 2, if you look, he's catching them.
Wow.
He's peeking under, and maybe he got a little upset that he wasn't running as fast as laps, and he knew to turn it off. And right now, we got a battle for the lead, boys.
And this 2 is giving that 3 the business, and really, he's getting under him here. Can he hold the bottom?
This is the race for the win right here.
I think
believe.
he's gonna get him right here. Yep.
There's
not quite clear.
Still at his door on the outside. The 2 clears him. Can he hold his exit? Yeah.
I think Boston went to peek under coming off. Door was closed.
And
Now,
really diving it in there. Big push.
There's 2 cars ahead too.
Wow.
Boston's letting him know he's not going to give it up that easily. Right now, if you're Boston, what's going through your head here, Nick?
What's going through my head is don't make a mistake like that, and to hope that Shaft makes a mistake. Maybe back up my entrance a little bit. He doesn't have anyone right behind him, so he could back it up and try and get a nice run off. They're coming to 1 to go here. And Shaft did a great job coming back there. It's almost like those last few laps he picked up so much time on Boston. Do you think that could have been because of the older tires Boston was on, or was Shaft just holding back a little bit to save the car and then struck?
Well, if you think about it, we said it at the end of the pit stops that Shaft stayed out longer. His tires were still there. I think maybe 3 car ran his the good off the tires.
Yeah.
And it looks like Shaft will pick up the win.
Wow, good win by Shaft. Max points day for him.
That's just pure talent.
That's talent. Let's see if You guys want to try and get these guys in here? Or?
Yeah,
Let's do it. Alright, we can go blue screen for a sec. Let's try and find Shaft Nation. Alright, and thank you to the one viewer that's actually watching this. You know, I'm happy that you're here with us on a Friday night. You know.
I think that might be me.
Well, shoot.
I'm just kidding.
This was it was fun talking with you guys. Hey, Shaft. Points. You know, max points day. Good job, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd
yeah.
like to,
be a little more excited, but that's cool.
I'd like to thank my hometown crowd of Iowa for that win.
Does Shaft, this is up front from the Elite Series. Last closing laps, you were really able to eat into that gap that Boston had built up. What was your strategy there? Was it because you had pitted so late to have good tires at the end of the run?
Yeah, when we pitted about 3 or 4 laps after Boston had pitted, we knew that we were probably going to come out behind him, and that's kind of the reason why we pitted so early, because we knew that he had a fast car, and when he had that 2-second gap lead, I was thinking that it was over, but then his tires were just gone, and we were able just to get up there and pass him.
Well, congratulations on the win, man. Way to keep a cool head under pressure and hitting your marks like you did every lap. Big fan of you. Hope to see you in the Elite Series soon.
Thank you.
War, you got anything for him?
No, I'm just saying we seen it early on in stage 2 that your tires lasted. It looked like your tires lasted a lot longer than Boston's. I think that was definitely a contributing factor to your win.
Yeah, it definitely was. He explained to me, or he said to me on the radio, because we were talking to each other for a little bit there, that since he was running the top line, he was going to have better tires. And then when he started falling off, I was like, you see the high line's a little bit, or the low line's a little bit better here.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
Speaking of the racing lines, one thing that I mentioned during the broadcast was how consistent you were with that bottom line and how clean you were throughout the entire run. One thing we also noticed with Boston was that he could run the top and he could run the bottom. Do you think you had a car that could do that too, or did you want to commit to that bottom and just try and keep him behind you?
We did not have a topside car. I experimented it with about 15 to go there, I think. And I lost like 2/10 on him, so I just said, screw that. We're not going to run the top line, so we just stuck at the bottom.
No, that was smart. That was very good. Good running today, man. It really showed. Your consistency always shows, and I agree with them saying that, you know, can't wait to see you in the Elite Series. So you enjoy this win, and let's see how you do at Darlington, all right, bud?
Yeah, let's see.
All right, let's see if we can get Boston in here. And as we wait, I'd like to, you know, say thank you to you guys for joining me. That was fun. You guys have a lot of good things to talk about. And we've got Boston Strong in here coming down to do a little relief driving last minute. You know, it was a close win, but do you think a little bit of practice, a little bit of knowing ahead of time that you would have been able to come up with a better car to get past Shaft?
No, I don't think so. I think it was more of just I didn't have tires. The car fell off after about 25 laps in the run. I could stick with Shaft. I didn't have. It's unfortunate about tires falling out. I didn't have the car to touch him. I don't know what he was doing, but after the qualifying time, I tried to change my setup to a higher slider, and I think that part of it hurt the most. But All in all, I didn't feel like practice was the issue. I think it was just more about I just didn't have the tires.
Well, let's see what the going is like for you at Darlington here.
Yeah, thanks.
Any questions from the other guys?
Boston, we saw that you pitted a few laps before Shaft. Did you think in the long run, going down to the checkered flag, that was going to hurt you, knowing that he had about 3 to 4 laps of newer tires on his vehicle?
Well, a lot of it was due, like I said, when I changed the slider setup and I was so loose, I had to pit early in stage 1 and go a couple laps down to tighten it up, and then to loosen it back up, I was just killing the right front off of it. And like I said, after about 30 some laps in, the right front was just gone. And I was able to hold with him, and then towards the end of that run, I knew he was going to have to pit in about 6 to 8 laps or something like that, and he pulled out to about a 2.5 second lead, and I was like, well, maybe if I could take strategy and pit a little bit early and maybe keep a decent run on him, maybe I know he would catch me, but maybe he wouldn't be able to get around me.
Yeah. Well, I think the Elite Series talent's definitely going to be proven at Darlington. I think that's where a track that you got to finesse a lot more than Iowa. I would definitely think that you're going to be a contender in that one.
I mean, I think everybody's a contender in Darlington. It's a track that anything can happen. Slider setups they're not. Everybody's pretty equal on what they do. It's just based on your driving style. Custom setups probably be a little bit different story, but I think you probably see about 4 or 5 guys around each other.
Yeah. Ward, do you have anything?
No, I don't. I think we pretty much covered it.
All right. Well, everyone, thanks for watching that Iowa race. We've got a short break. We'll be back. Let these guys maybe finish up their strategies for Darlington. But thanks to those who've tuned in. Good job, Shaft, with that win. See y'all in a little bit.